Welcome everyone to another edition of Straight from the Paws. Today again I have my co-host with me, Beverly Andrade, and Manny Maciel, who is the New Bedford Animal Control Officer who's in charge of ACO in the city, and I must admit a very knowledgeable person in the animal world. Welcome, Manny.
Thank you both for having me here.
Hey, you're quite welcome.
Pleasure.
It's good to have you. We've been talking about this for a long time.
Yes, we have a lot of things to ask Manny today. Manny, could you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, your credentials, the various affiliations you have with animal organizations in this area?
I started way back in, I want to say, 89, doing animal rescue stuff with one of the local groups in New Bedford, and then you know, I just love the way animals bond with you, and just the way, you know, saving an animal's life or helping an animal out, or getting an animal back to a human, and just the smiles that you get, the thank yous, without even you know, they can't speak for themselves, but you know that they're very happy and that they out of that situation. So and then from there, in '97, I became an animal control officer in New Bedford, and from that point on, it was just basically moving, going forward. We didn't have anything when we started. It was just a closet with a phone and at the police station. Now we have 3 vehicles. We have 3 animal control officers. We have a lot of paperwork. Things that are getting better and better, and we're seeing changes, and the euthanasia rates are dropping. Spaying and neuter is up. You know, we always heard about spaying and neuter, spaying your animal and saving a life, and until you start seeing the numbers, and you know, as you hear from other groups, like, well, we still have a long ways to go, and we still have a problem, but the problem would have been a lot worse if the groups were affiliated with, like, Forever Paws and the Coalition for Animals, you know, Habitat for Cats, and we wouldn't be where we at today. We would have a bigger problem. So spaying and neuter is one of the biggest things I think that in my career that I've seen that made a difference. And I was kind of, at first, kind of like, is this really gonna make an effort? But we went from 5.5 million animals being put to sleep in the United States to just under 3 million.
That's
so
awesome.
It is working. So it is important to get your animals spayed and neutered. Anyone, I'm on the board of the Coalition for Animals also, and just because we're talking about spay and neuter, you know, we have an affiliation with Forever Paws and other organizations as a coalition. Anyone that needs assistance with spaying and neutering your animals, you can call the Coalition for Animals at 508-991-6366. Leave your name, number, your address, and you can get an application sent to you. And for $5, it's $5, you can get your animal spayed or neutered, and you just have to go through one of the vets that we deal with. So that's again, it's a program from the Massachusetts Animal Coalition. The spay neuter license plate, which you have one,
yes,
and
a lot of other.
Yep, I have one too.
And a lot of other members in the welfare community, and just someone that wanting to help animals can get a license plate and save a life, because as I said, we've seen those numbers drop.
That's really good. I know you know all the statistics, and you do such a great job with everything you do. And I do know that you're a very busy man, and you are affiliated with Forever Paws, and I would just like you to tell us a little bit about some of the things that you do for Forever Paws.
Well, for anyone that don't know, and a lot of people don't, we bring our animals to Forever Paws. It's a great organization. The board, very, very, very hard work. One of the most hardworking boards I've ever seen in the animal field, that really give of their time. And you know, we contract with Forever Paws to house our animals. So when we get a cat or a dog, we bring our animals up to Forever Paws, and it's and Forever Paws with their staff, they turn around and give good quality of life is what's important for that animal's time that it's at the shelter. So that's important for the animal to make sure that the temperament of this animal shows through so when the animal gets adopted out, it's showing the right body language, and making sure that this animal is going to get a good home. And it's so important, and the staff at Forever Paws does a really, really good job with that, and making sure, you know, people, when I first started this, it was like, I used to hear a lot of people get aggravated because it was easier to adopt a child than an animal. And some of that was because of the questionnaire and making sure that wherever this animal home is going to be is a good home and a lasting home for this animal's life. It is important that when you adopt an animal, you're adopting this animal for life, not just for a week, for a month, a couple of years. It's for life.
Thank you. Bev, could you tell our audience a little bit about some of the other things that Manny does for us?
Well, we also want you to understand that Manny's a great cook. And from there, we had sampled a couple of things that Manny would cook, and we decided to ask Manny to be a cook for some of our fundraisers. Manny, why don't you tell some of them, the audience out there, what you've cooked for us?
My dad used to be a cook, a really good one, and I didn't get this way just by not eating. And as the camera's on me now, but so I worked for the country club in New Bedford as a sous chef and helping out, and my brother-in-law was a cook there. So I took a lot of that with me when I went to the animal field, and I'm always involved in somehow, some way, helping an organization, doing things. I belong to a lot of boards across the state, not just animal organizations, but just other organizations. So when we just talking, and I watch myself around you two ladies, because I get myself in trouble every time I mention something, I get involved in it. So hopefully I don't come out with another great idea from Manny and get myself cooking somewhere else. But we did the chowder and clam cakes. That was successful. And the Portuguese night with Manny, the fireman, Steve Lopes. That was great. And we did the cazuela, and we did the fries, and we did the rice pudding, thanks to my sister. So it was a good night, and it was nice to know that people enjoyed themselves, and they hadn't had great rice pudding and the cazuela they loved, and clam cakes. I mean, it gets harder and harder to get good clam cakes, and everyone enjoyed it. And I used to have my own little catering business that we did festivals. So it was a pleasure to help out with whatever I could with Forever Paws. Again, knowing that all the donations, all the support, everything, none of the board gets paid for what they do. So it was just another thing that me helping out, and knowing that money that is being raised is going to the animals, to make sure they get good quality life while they're at the shelter, and that's so important. And that's why we deal with Forever
And
Paws.
I have one more thing to say on helping Forever Paws. Last year at our Celebration of Giving September fundraiser, you did challenge our president on a great fundraiser where we made quite a bit of money. I would like to have you explain to everybody what you challenged Gail with.
I probably won't be invited to that, but because I think this year might be you. No, I do a lot of New Year's Day with the polar plunge, and it was great to hear that Fall River was doing a polar plunge to sponsor and help Forever Paws, and Forever Paws was involved in it. So when it was the third, fourth year now.
Yeah, it's up there.
Up there, and I've been doing the plunge every New Year's Day, so come on along and help in good cause, and it's getting bigger and better every year, and it's awesome. The water is not that bad.
Not at all, no.
But I challenged the year before. Gail had said, you couldn't get me up there, and I said, well, how about if I paid $500 for you to get there? Would you do it? She's like, you have to give me a little more than that. So a little more could have been just $600-700. Well, we raised, and I went up. She had introduced me in front of everybody, and she won't do that again. And she put me on the spot. So I kind of turned around, put her on the spot, and told everyone, that what she had told me the year before, that she would do it if it cost everyone a lot of money. So I said, all right, I'll throw in a $200 donation for this, and all of a sudden everyone started throwing in. I think it was like a couple thousand by the
Gail
end of the time.
actually raised $3,000 on her own for that fundraiser, and that night at the September Celebration of Giving dinner, we raised over $1,000 for Gail just that night.
And I wonder if we have some footage of that too. It'd be nice to see.
They do have footage here, but we're not doing that anymore. We're moving on to something else. But yes, Manny does a lot for our shelter. I've got to tell you, he's just not the animal control officer. He does a great deal, and I just want to mention also that he also comes out and helps us and trains the staff. If there's anything new out there, any new techniques or anything that he feel we need to get updated, Manny's very good about providing us information where we can go, and he also comes down and also trains any new staff members that I have. So we're very fortunate to have Manny with all his great abilities to help us outdo that. Now, Manny, just one quick question before we take a break. Could you tell us a little bit about animal welfare laws in Massachusetts, how affects responsible animal owners?
Things have changed so much. I know different laws, different ordinances from New Bedford to Fall River, so it might change a little bit when I'm speaking about some of the laws. But across the state, there is leash laws. Some of them have, like Dartmouth, it doesn't have to be on a leash as long as you have verbal command. In Fall River, I'm pretty sure there is a leash law. All animals have to be vaccinated by the age of 5 months. Dog licensed by the age of 6 months. So it's important. If you don't, you're looking at close to $100, $150 fine for all those things. Plus park ordinances and picking up after your animal is so important. Just the health issue between not picking up after your animal, another animal that comes by, the feces might have something in there, some type of disease that an animal might pick up on it if it's not vaccinated for parvo or anything like that. So it's very important to make sure you pick up after your animals. The other thing too is the animal cruelty laws is getting better. There's always things changing and making people more responsible. We went from having the animal cruelty laws from $1,000 fine and 2 years in jail to $2,000 fine and 5 years in jail. So also with the disaster laws that have been changing. So it's very hard. Where we last month, my department alone, we responded over to 972 calls. That's
Wow.
a lot of calls.
That is a lot of calls.
Just to give you a rough estimate, the fire department responded, New Bedford responded just over 1,200 calls last year. The medics responded just over 2,400. We responded to close to 16,000 calls.
Wow. We're going to take a quick break right now, Manny. Thank you so much for all that information. We'll be right back from Straight from the Paws.
When you adopt, you give an animal a second chance at life and a second chance at love. Like their human counterparts, animals deserve a life of dignity and happiness, but most of all, they deserve our love. At Forever Paws Animal Shelter, we work to give animals the gift of time. Our mission is simple: place these valued animals in loving homes. A pet is a friend for life. When you believe in them, they will always believe in you. Forever Paws Animal Shelter, giving animals a new leash on life.
Welcome again back to Straight from the Paws. We have Manny Maciel with us today, New Bedford Animal Control Officer, and Beverly Andrade, my co-host. Manny, could you tell us about some of the organizations that you're affiliated with?
I was the president of the Animal Control Officers Association for the state of Massachusetts from 2006 to 2011. And it was just basically we did a lot of training for animal control officers. The law just changed where it's mandated that animal control officers do get training. So that's very, very helpful because across the state you have, we used to have dog officers, now we're all the same, we're all animal control officers dealing with a lot about the same thing. I mean, some animal control officers deal with dogs, particularly, some of them deal with dogs and cats, some of them deal with dogs, cats, and birds. In New Bedford, we basically deal with everything. But I'm also affiliated with a SMART, State of Massachusetts Animal Response Team. We locally just started a response, a DART team, Disaster Animal Response Team, in the South Coast area. So if you're looking for more information, you can go on the Coalition for Animals. That's another organization that I'm on the board. The Coalition for Animals is the one that I was talking about earlier with spaying and neuter. I was on the license plate committee where we started the fund to raise money for spaying and neuter. I'm also affiliated with different MVMA charities where we support animal control officers, stray animals, where the charities will turn around and pay for an animal that was hit by a car, and most cities and towns will not support or have money for these animals that were hit by a car. They only can give minimal care while this animal is looking for a dog owner, the proper dog owner. So organizations like Forever Paws, who are holding these animals, you know, we will in turn help get this animal the care as many times as you know that we bring an animal to you that may have needed extra surgery or extra care to get that home, and you always come through for that animal. So that's important. That's a nice charity that I belong to. I also belong to, I'm a responder for American Humane Association, a national organization that responds to disasters, cruelty situations, or hoarding situations. I've been doing that since Katrina. I was in Hurricane Katrina for 21 days, and that was an experience and a half. I've been in puppy mills. We've taken rescue animals from puppy mills. That's why it's so important when you're looking for an animal to adopt. Don't shop. Adopt an animal from your local shelters. It's so important. Save a life. It really, really, really is worth it, and you'll love the bonding. And there's no such thing as a mongrel. You're looking for love when you're adopting an animal. It's so important to get to your local shelters and adopt that animal out. I also, with the ASPCA, American Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, I'm one of the consultants. My profession with them is more of an animal handler. I handle animals in dog fighting. We just did a huge dog fighting case in August in Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. We took over close to 300 dogs that were involved in dog fighting. And one guy had 141 dogs just on his property. These animals were being, it's a very brutal situation. It's awful and it's a life on the chain, and it's not fair to these animals, and we take these animals out of these situations. So, and then there's also the cockfighting. We just did a cockfighting bust, which is roosters and fighting basically for a hen. And they usually have gaffs in the ends of their feet, and they slice each other up, and the one that wins. It's gambling. It's all it is. It's gambling. And that was one of the biggest cockfighting busts that we did in New York. It was over close to 4,100 animals that were taken from a cockfighting bust. Just on the farm, there was over 3,900 animals, and on the property in New York, in Brooklyn, in Queens, was just over 100. So, and then with American Humane, I was last year. They gave me the American Humane Hero Award, a National Hero Award, and a lot of the work that I did with American Humane. We were in Moore, Oklahoma. And in Moore, Oklahoma, I was there. I did 2 trips. The first trip, we were doing rescue stuff. We were trapping cats at night, putting out close to 100 traps every night, catching cats that had getting away from their homes when it was blown away. That was a very touching part of very, very, I felt a lot of their pain, because a lot of people that's all they had is their animal. So, it was definitely tough, but I love the work that these two organizations do when I respond. Again, I'm very lucky to work with great organizations and I love my career. I love this work that I do.
You do a great job at it. Manny, I know you brought a film for us about Oklahoma, so I want to let the folks know that we're going to be viewing that. You're going to be viewing that film in a few minutes, and a few seconds, I should say. But I also like to thank Manny and Bev for coming today. I really appreciate all the information you've given us. We'll probably have to invite him back again, because he's got a lot to share with everyone, and we really appreciate that. So again, thank you everyone for watching Straight from the Paws. Manny.
We are assisting the City of Moore by helping with rescue needs, sheltering needs. There's been well over 100 animals that have come through the doors as a result of this tornado that have come through this emergency shelter. These animals have gone through a horrible trauma, and we need to be able to provide them in conjunction with the locals and other animal rescue organizations with the comfort that they need and deserve to get through this traumatizing situation, to alleviate their stress, and to provide them with the humane care that they deserve.
This is our Lois Pope rescue vehicle. It's our Florida response vehicle. It's a regional vehicle that we'll bring up to other responses as needed. We use it, the garage area that we're standing in right now houses supplies to help set up a shelter once we're on scene. If it's not used for or needed for anything else, it becomes dormitory space to house the responders on scene. We can also use the unit to transport animals as well. So on this response right now, we had 18 people rotating through it. Try to make it as accommodating as we can to our responders and our volunteers, because they're the backbone of what we do. So we do try to take care of them while they're out here with us, so they can continue to do good work that they do.
Just to start off with, as far as my numbers are correct, and talking with Aaron, we did send 4 home yesterday, 1 dog, 3 cats.
Yay!
Yay! So we are doing good. We are doing very well. Hi, where'd you guys find him?
On Sunny Lane, just east of all the destruction on Sunny Lane.
Did you find him today?
No, we found him day before yesterday, but I didn't know exactly where to take him.
Yeah.
I put the little collar on her, but she is just so scared of people. She's just scared to death. It's okay, it's okay.
It's like, and we'll keep her in the back since she's so scared until she relaxes.
Yeah, she was doing fine until she heard all the dogs stuff. How long do they keep them down here before they do something else?
What I've been hearing, it's 30 days and since the tornado. And then they'll start being adoptable, but none of the animals will be euthanized. Every single one of these will be adopted out or sent to a specific rescue.
That's what we was worried about, baby.
Hey, little girl.
Yes.
After I get all this information, we take it back and the vet will check it and vaccinate them since they're going to be staying here. We'll treat it for flea and ticks, and then we'll get her picture online, and her people can find her and she can go home.
They've gotten into the routine, you can tell. I mean, the next row of dogs are conked out. They're pretty comfortable. I mean, even though it's not the conditions they were used to at home, with their loving families. So, and our goal is to reunite them as quick as we can so they can be back with their families. This is an effort through the Oklahoma Department of Ag to try to help with the reunification. They've gone around and taken pictures of the other 2 shelter sites. That way, when somebody comes in to look for their lost animal, if it's not on site here, we've got the pictures of the other shelters. So hopefully we can do a visual identification here and send them to the correct shelter to go find their animal. This is our truck, we call it Lucy. It's our 82-foot response vehicle. Like the other one, it has multiple uses. Opened up right now, we're in living quarters, so we've got the food laid out on the counters, but we can also use those to do exams for animals on that as well. Up on the ceiling, you can see that we've got our catch poles and other tools to go out in the field. And then from there, we've got dedicated living space. So we've got the RV kitchen, bathrooms, a lounge that turns into bunk space. And then above us is where we store all our heavy gear for rescue. So we have boats are on here, the water gear that goes with them, dry suits, vests, technical gear for rope rescue, wildland fire, Nomex, all that stuff is on the truck. We try to bring all the tools that we would need to equip our responders once we're on scene in this unit.
Because of all the structure that's going on and all the bulldozing and all the people still going through their belongings, there's a lot of action during the daytime, a lot of movement, and so these cats, the animals, the dogs too, will hide. They won't come out, and so we really have to put those traps where we think, in our experience, what really will work. And and get these animals. When we arrived, the gentleman was telling us how they had seen a cat take off and ran back into the house and ran out the back window. The house is now gone, so when you look around the property, you start looking, where can I set this trap, and where's this cat most likely to go to hide? In our experience at nighttime, where we're finding the cats are little piles like that right there, and they're getting underneath there, and you would never think that, hey, that's where a cat's gonna go. We gotta think like a cat, what would they be doing? And so we could be successful in this operation to get all these cats into shelter, into a good home.
We have Miss Lily back, and we've got one more missing. We found one 5 days after the rubble, so we're just blessed to have the little family members back. She looked at me.
When an owner comes in and finds its animal, then we what we call at shopping, all the other supplies that we have organized around, we take them through. They get their pet food that they need for it, pet supplies, so whether it's a leash and a collar, cleaning supplies so they can help care for it, water bowls, food bowls, you name it, we've got it over there, so they can kind of start getting the supplies that they need for their animals to take them home.
I'm just amazed.
Thank you, you too.
At all of them that had made it, and just even looking at our house afterwards, it just surprises me that they did.
They had God around them that day for sure.
And the Humane Association is definitely a blessing. They're angels for these animals, really. It's a miracle.
A lot of people don't understand what we're doing out here. You're rescuing what? An animal? A lot of people lost their homes, but again, for a lot of people, this is their animal, that their family member. It's very emotional. First couple of days is like, you're here, you're excited to be here, and then as your time goes by, you start feeling, some of the pain that everyone else is going through.
Then turn right on McCown.
Then, you have, these great reunions. Looking for the black cat with a pink. We found him last night.
Star?
We have Star.
Oh my goodness.
We got Star. And those smiles just takes away all those tears. Russian blue-gray color and green eyes. Green eyes. You can put down there that we do have an owner, and cat's name is Gracie.
Many of these folks have lost everything, absolutely everything. And when we're able to help reunite a pet that's a member of their family, and we're able to bring them together, that's what it's all about at the end of the day.